Now, if you're still doubting the power of the Infinity Blade, look what happens when you dive into Tilted Towers. This thing will literally smash through any structure in its way, meaning you can...
Hey, what's up, guys? We're gonna watch a video about the downfall of Fortnite. Now, I remember when this game first came out, and I actually paid $40 for it. And then the Battle Royale came out, and it became free. And it's had an interesting trajectory since then. So we're going to go ahead and watch a video from SunnyV2 about the downfall of it.
First impression of the game. It's fun.
Well, let's go. Pleasant Park spawn. Let's get it!
This looks like a knockoff of Battlegrounds. Alex, it's so much fun though.
Where they at? Where they at? Where they at?
Where did that base coming on? Oh, I feel the rhythm! Let's go! 27 solos!
34 solo squad. Not bad.
31. The record.
I realised that I could probably go to a pro level.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are getting ready to start game number 1.
Here at the Fortnite Pro-Am, him and Marshmallow come out on top!
Let's go! Give me that!
I remember when they started adding Thanos and crazy stuff in 2018. Summer of 2018 was the very top of Fortnite.
This man about to get hip fired. It needs a nerf. That's for sure.
Eventually, this is not even a game anymore. Like, it's just, there's no decision making. It's literally, you see someone hold left click.
I have to do long division to figure out how many SMGs there are now in Fortnite.
The game is in such a bad spot right now. You have to be trolling, dude. I don't understand. What are they thinking?
Increase the time between subsequent turbo build placements from 0.05 seconds to 0.15? What? Why would they do that? No way.
And you hear that Infinity Blade as well. He's still alive. Breaking through everything. Number 9, number 10 for these with the Infinity Blade. Sing, 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 sing.
But people get mad at the Infinity Blade because all they do is build, spam build, and the blade would just cut through things. And so they got mad at that. It broke the meta. But I wasn't playing it by the time they released that.
He only has to connect one time. That is so frustrating.
There's planes.
Wait, for real? 2, 4, 6, 8, close to 10 vehicles in the air at the moment.
I hate planes so much, man.
The planes,
so much, dude.
I played it at my
Season
sister's
10 was the worst season of Fortnite yet.
It's never been
Planes were fun to
as bad as it's been right now. The pro players are upset.
I understand how the planes would ruin the entire game of just everyone's flying in planes.
The content creators are upset. What's going on, man? I feel like there's no communication right now.
When Fortnite Battle Royale was released back on the 26th of September 2017, the potential outcome for what had been created was completely unspecified.
Alright, here we go. I want Timmy dead!
A new free game in the Battle Royale genre? I mean, come on, there was already PUBG and this new Fortnite game was completely free for anyone to download. How good could it possibly be? Well, some of these aspects that were considered negatives in the beginning would go on to make the game one of the most successful games ever released into gaming.
Oh, I'm not even. No! 20, baby! Let's go!
However, things started to go wrong around late Season 4.
So irritated, man. Can't wait for freaking Call of Duty to come out, man.
Awful updates and mass complaints from the community began to roll in. Playground mode completely flattened the skill gap. SMGs began to overtake the beloved shotgun meta that made the game so fun in the first place.
Yeah, but like not everyone liked spamming shotguns because all the game was get close, build a bunch of shit, and then pull out your shotgun, and then build, and then pull out your other shotgun, and then shotgun, and then another shotgun, and then build, and pull out your other shotgun. It wasn't that fun.
What?
Infinity Blades, planes, mechs, and a bunch of brainless updates has caused the game to slowly lose popularity since its peak in July 2018. But was it just the bad updates? Or was it the fact that people just lost interest in the game over time?
This same old shit is just boring.
Buckle up, boys, as we cover the rise and fall of Fortnite Battle Royale.
I mean, it could be both. Like, you just get bored with the game. Like, you play, you win, or you don't. Then eventually, you're just done with it. On top of the updates. But it could be both. I think people just got bored with it.
I want you to cast your mind back to mid-2017. Where were you? For some of you, it might feel like a long time ago in a place far from where you are now.
I remember that. Summer 2017, I was playing Assassin's Creed Syndicate and Wolfenstein.
And for some others listening, it might feel like just yesterday. Well, for a team of developers at the relatively unknown Epic Games, mid-2017 is what we might call the calm before the storm. Because on the 25th of July 2017, a project that had been in development for over 6 years was ready to be released to the general public. This special project was the now popular Fortnite.
Hurry up out there, Ramirez!
Epic Games explained in 2011 that they wanted to create a game that combined the construction game genre with a first-person.
Yeah, it was Save the World mode, and the game was $40, and that's what I bought. It just wasn't fun. Like, you would run around the map completing objectives, and then the zombies would come, and it was kind of easy. You had to just defend the base. It just wasn't fun.
Shooter game.
And then the Battle Royale came out for free, and no one ever touched to Save the World mode again.
Genre to create something that might be a mix of maybe Minecraft and Call of Duty. Epic Games had recently completed the extremely popular game Gears of War, and to let themselves down from the hype, they participated in what was called a Game Jam, an event where game developers would try and create the best possible game within a limited period of time, say for example 1 to 3 days. It was in this Game Jam after the release of Gears of War that the idea of Fortnite was born.
And then the discussions around what happened at Game Jam is actually kind of what led to Fortnite. And Fortnite wasn't a direct result. It wasn't one of the games in the Game Jam, but that process was kind of the fuel that caused that to become created.
The game was then announced in December 2011 at the Spike Game Awards.
Showtime! Alright, clear!
Then 2.5 years after the announcement in early 2014, signs began to appear here and there that the game was nearing completion. Game Informer uploaded the video inside the development history of Fortnite on the 25th of April 2014. In this video, the developers explained what they had been working on and how it was coming along.
It's a game that spawned directly from passion. This is just something that people wanted to build. We were just coming off of Gears, and we wanted to do something totally fresh.
There was also other videos being uploaded to YouTube, displaying the mechanics and giving an insight into how the game was looking back in 2014. However, despite...
Yeah, this game took so long to make. Epic started it after Gears 3 in 2011, and it came out in 2017. Like, 6 years later.
Looking like Fortnite was ready to be released in 2014, the game wouldn't be ready for another 3 years. But after polishing the gameplay consistently over those 3 years, the game was ready to be released, which was announced at E3 in June 2017.
We're going to start with one called Fortnite. Now, I don't know much about a lot of these, so I think the best way to do it is just jump in.
Fortnite Save the World was then released on the 25th of July 2017, which was 1 month after the initial announcement. Fortnite Save the World was set up as a single-player versus environment game, a combination that Epic believed to be a resemblance of Minecraft and Left 4 Dead. The Save the World part of Fortnite was at 1 million players only 1 month after release in August 2017. However, there was a bit of a problem with Save the World. There needed to be more of a PvP aspect to the game. Sure, versing monsters all the time was kind of fun, but the game lacked a gripping competitive aspect. One game that did have an excellent third-person competitive aspect, however, was the game PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, released 1 year previously in July 2016. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds had utilised a recently new style of gameplay called Battle Royale, a style that was relatively unused by...
Yeah, I'll just skip ahead. It just talks about the rise of Fortnite throughout 2018 with competitions and tournaments and stuff, and Drake Playground mode.
Well, on the 27th of June 2018, only 2 weeks after the Celebrity Pro-Am event, Epic Games released a new game mode into Fortnite Battle Royale called Playground Mode.
Oh my god, look at that, mate! Playground sandbox mode!
Playground Mode offered a sandbox style of gameplay, giving every player the opportunity to practice their building with unlimited material and no limitations from other players. Now, while the community loved this newly implemented game mode, it began to do strange things to the skill level of the player base. Everyone started to get extremely skilled in a very short period of time. It seemed as though after Playground was released, the skill level that was achieved in 6 months previously could be achieved in only 2 weeks by simply practicing in Playground mode. After Playground was released, all of the newbies just kind of disappeared and everyone's skill level increased dramatically. It was difficult for new players to get a grip on the game because the beginner skill level was diminished following the release of Playground. It's likely that Epic released the game mode attempting to give those new players a leg up with a practicing platform, but it just seemed to get abused by high-level players who just wanted to get even better. Now, it's hard to actually quantify whether or not players left the game following the update, especially considering it was an ongoing game mode. But I think we can all agree, if you can reach almost peak skill level in 2 weeks instead of 6 months, and everyone on the game is now extremely skilled putting up a barrier for new players, it's going to affect the health of the game in a negative way over the long term. So what was it that followed this? Epic Games began to notice the increased skill level of the general player. By the time Season 5 rolled around, just after the Playground mode update, everyone was extremely skilled at building all of a sudden.
Oh no, not the Tifu Classic! No!
The skill level of the players in Season 4 compared to Season 5 was almost incomparable. Epic saw this as an issue because how is a potential new player going to win a game versus 100 other experienced players when they have no experience themselves?
What? He betrayed me, bro.
They had to change something to give newer players a shot, but instead of removing Playground, the game mode that made everyone extremely experienced in the first place, they started to mess with one of the main things that made the game so fun in the first place, the shotgun meta.
The shotgun meta reminds me of Gears of War. It's made from the people who made Gears of War, and it's just not, like, fun. You go into a game, and it's just aim the shotgun, switch to the other shotgun, shoot, switch back to the other shotgun, shoot, and whoever has the most accuracy wins. It just wasn't, like, it's fine in the game, but if that's the only thing to it, it gets boring.
The most effective close-quarter weapon at the time was the range of shotguns, with submachine guns in the background as a secondary. Epic Games hatched a plan to increase the strength of the submachine gun range in the hope that newbies could just shoot through builds instead of learning how to build themselves. With the macro goal of competing with the shotgun.
But to learn how to build themselves, but if someone's hiding in a building and you can build, how does that kill that person? It doesn't do anything. The building, that is why they introduced Zero Build, because this wasn't fun.
Better at the time. However, they made two main mistakes with the implementation. Firstly, they made the submachine guns way too strong.
Like, this thing is actually dumb. It's actually dumb. The Silence SMG is literally the best weapon in the game right now.
And secondly, they made the main aspect of the game, building, completely redundant in the process, given that the new submachine guns could completely rip through enemy builds with 0 skill level.
I got you guys, don't worry.
Epic introduced a new submachine gun in the first update of Season 5 on the 17th of July 2018. However, Epic Games didn't really feel as though it did what they desired, so they added the P90 only 1 week later on the 25th of July. And this weapon was absolute carnage.
No.
Not broken, by the way.
The beginning of Season 5 also saw the removal of the controversial double shotgun strategy, another update designed to reduce the strength of the shotgun meta.
After firing a shotgun, another shot cannot be fired for a very short time. So you can't double pump. So get rid of double shotgun. Or just double shotgun. Double shotgun, period.
No double shotty in general. They're switching the meta to the double shotgun SMG.
They're switching the meta.
It was at this point that everyone kind of started to realize what Epic was trying to do with the meta. It only took about 2 seconds of critical thinking to realize that they were trying to give new players the edge. But they made the new submachine gun so strong that people just stopped playing for a day or two until they fixed it. The almost laughable part about the update was that the people who the gun was put in for, the newbies, were complaining about the P90 in the same way that the pros were. After the update, it seemed to become trendy to start hating Epic and complaining about Fortnite. Over a 1-month period between Season 4 and Season 5, everyone went from thinking it was the greatest game ever created to a game doomed and destined for failure. Looking back, perhaps a self-fulfilling prophecy. Then various
No, support BR games, Battle Royale will always have haters, so why Fortnite will die after Season 5. I guarantee there were people when Fortnite first came out that said, oh, this is a bad game. It wasn't after 4 seasons, oh, it's bad. People have always said it's bad, but there were still tons of players.
videos started to come out with titles along the lines of, is Fortnite dying?
We're on the cusp of something great, and I'm not really sure if it lasts the next season, you know?
If we look at the Google Trends graph for Fortnite, the weekend where P90s were released into the game was when it was at peak popularity, with a slow decline following. And as we can observe from the graph, the P90 update was really only the beginning of the decline. Fortnite Season 6. The previously discussed SMG problem that was seeing many players leave the game had been fixed to some extent with various nerfs.
Are they still worth, like, using and doubling up and all that? They're fine at very, very close range, but they're not, like, stupidly broken at far range anymore, you know?
However, shotguns still hadn't been returned to their former glory, and Season 6 brought its own set of problems. The popularity of Fortnite peaked upon the introduction of Season 6, however died down to the lowest point that Fortnite had been at by the end of the season. The introduction of
Season 6? Six seasons in a year? No, within a year. It's a lot of seasons. Like, it's good when games have content, but there's like a new season every month. I remember when I started playing again, it was like Rick and Morty. No, it was this primal theme where you had crossbows and primal weapons and a lot of wolves. And then it instantly got updated to the Rick and Morty update. And then I was busy moving, got on it like a year later, and it was the Dragon Ball update. And the Dragon Ball update was fun, but then it was only there for like 3 weeks, and then it was updated to that silver goo, how you could turn into silver goo, and it's just, they updated it so fast, and it's like, I want to enjoy the things that are in it, but they update it every like 3 weeks.
of zombies was just found to be a nuisance, with seemingly very few people advocating to keep the mechanic in the game.
Dude, these zombies, go away. You're making this so much more harder than it needs to be.
However, there was something else that occurred in this season which was another intangible phenomena that made many people lose a bit more respect for Epic Games. During Halloween 2018 in Season 6, Epic decided to re-release the Scythe Pickaxe and the Skull Trooper skin, 2 cosmetic items that were available only to the original Season 1 players.
Wait, the OG one's in the OG one's in the shop too! Oh my god, it's back! They put the OG in! Oh my god!
And while everyone seemed kind of happy to have the opportunity to purchase these skins, there was also an underlying sadness that Epic had sold out a little bit on their original player base. It kind of made buying skins less exciting, since everyone knew that there was now a possibility that no skin could be rare in the future, because Epic Games kind of showed that they would sell out on the rareness of a skin if it meant a slight uptick in short-term revenue. And since buying skins was less fun, this just translated into the game being...
Yeah, but like, what about if you want the skin? It's like, you have to buy the skin when it comes out then, which is stupid. Like, I wanted the Master Chief skin. Well, I didn't have a TV at the time, I wasn't playing it. By the time I got the game, I couldn't get the Master Chief skin. But this is what all the Battle Pass games do. They recycle, like they update the store with older skins. So Halloween came around a year later, and they put the Halloween skin. And why do people hate on that? They want to be able to buy a skin and then have it never be available again. But so if there's a skin you like, it's like, oh, I just missed it by a week. I wasn't playing last weekend. I'll never be able to buy it. It's kind of, I mean, League of Legends doesn't do that. League of Legends, you can buy the skins. It's just more expensive, the more rare the skin.
A little less fun. However, the reintroduction of rare skins was nothing compared to what Epic would do to ruin the game in a following update.
Looks like he's kind of committed to the Infinity Blade. There he is. And he's going to be the first to pick it up. He has to build this time around because he knows the player there. He's going straight for the dive.
And you hear that Infinity Blade as well.
He's still alive.
Breaking through everything. Number 9, number 10 for Nice with the Infinity Blade.
He's just chopping through everything.
I can just imagine the other player just like freaking out because someone's just slicing through the walls. And it's like, this isn't Fortnite. Fortnite, you're supposed to be able to just build a maze and then pull a shotgun and then build a maze and then pull a shotgun and then build and then pull a shotgun. Why is he cutting through my walls? I could just imagine just a pro player just so funny.
400 freaking HP, people!
The Infinity Blade, speculatively agreed upon to be the worst and most game-changing update ever released into Fortnite.
Now, if you're still doubting the power of the Infinity Blade, look what happens when you dive into Tilted Towers. This thing will literally smash through any structure in its way, meaning you can pretty much level that entire city in a matter of seconds. It is absolutely disgusting.
A weapon that completely threw all of the rules out the window, altering not only gameplay but professional tournaments as well.
If he gets the victory royale, that'd be nice.
He's blood, here it is.
Player's gonna be right in
That's
front
one.
of him, and
All three land here. Here comes the
oh my god.
That's the elimination on Coop Train.
Then throw another controversial plane update in the mix and you have yourself a potential recipe for disaster.
I hate planes so much, man. So much, dude.
Well, I say recipe for disaster, but the data might prove otherwise. It seems as though Fortnite actually had very little drop in Google search volume throughout Season 7, actually peaking in many places. However, I'd say that this was due to a mass number of people Googling the potential removal of the Infinity Blade and planes. When everything is going fine in the game, there's not really much reason to search for Fortnite on Google. These updates seem to provide mass...
Yeah, but the Infinity Blade, like I said earlier, they update the game like every month. So the Infinity Blade would be in there for fucking 3 weeks, and then they would take it out. I could be wrong, I wasn't playing at the time, but I know the planes and the Infinity Blade at most were in there for 1 month. And people are complaining, oh my gosh, the game's ruined. It's going to be removed. They removed the Dragon Ball update. You jump into the air with a Nimbus cloud, and then you use the Kamehameha. And people were probably getting annoyed by that, because it's so easy to get, it was so easy to get kills. But it was only for like 3 weeks. So it's not going to be in there forever.
Traffic for the game throughout Season 7. However, it's questionable if this was healthy for the longevity of the game, given that in Season 8, search volume for Fortnite dropped extremely heavily after a small peak during the introduction of the season. Then the same story with Season 9, a small peak in popularity at the beginning of the season followed by another drop to the lowest point in the game's history. The beginning of Season 10 then returned the popularity of the game back to where it was in Season 8. The season was marketed as Season X, which added a little bit of excitement for what was to come in the season. However, as you might guess, the season itself came with its own set of challenges. It seems as though Epic didn't really get the message that players didn't enjoy ridiculously overpowered and unbalanced meta within Fortnite, because Season X began with a new update that some might argue was the most unbalanced update to come into the game since the Infinity Blade.
God!
Mechs appeared to be another one of those updates added purely to spark outrage from the community and
they just made the game more towards casuals. They just made it a sandbox, fun, social game, which is good. Like, a lot of people don't like sweaty games. But yeah, mechs are bad because it reminds me of Titanfall. And in Titanfall, when someone's in the mech, you are basically hiding until like you can just pop shots and take their shields down, or until you get a mech.
Giving the lower skilled players a chance to win.
What's up, boys?
Just fly on the driver, bro. Go on, take him out!
However, all mechs seemed to do was create a bigger gap between the haves and the have-nots. If you had a mech, you were unstoppable. If not, you would have a hard time beating someone who did have a mech. Following this, many people started saying that Season X was the worst season yet.
Season 10 was the worst season of Fortnite yet.
This was then backed up by the fact that 2 weeks after the beginning of the season, Fortnite once again hit a new low on Google Trends.
Oh, was that when was Apex Legends released? Because I guarantee the game's been out over a year. There's other battle royales. It's not just because of the updates.
But Epic Games wasn't stupid. They could see that the game was dying. There was only so many seasons they could produce before people realised, holy crap, I've been playing this game for 11 seasons, maybe it's time to find something new. They could see that every season more players were leaving, so they needed to refresh and revitalise the game. On the 13th of October 2019, at the end of Season X, an event took place where the Fortnite map was sucked into a black hole. An extraordinary way to end what was considered a bit of an awful season.
The bus just gets sent.
But when the next season was supposed to start, nothing happened. Just this screen for 2 days straight. No one could play Fortnite, which caused the Fortnite search volume to skyrocket to a level never seen before. Because I guess if you're not playing Fortnite, you're probably Googling Fortnite, right? Then, after 2 days of silence, which was likely a publicity stunt to get everyone hyped and talking about the game again, Fortnite Chapter 2 was released.
It's the most pettiest thing. They're like, oh, everyone's bitching and not playing our game, and we're at the lowest point of the lowest number of players ever. Let's have a cinematic where it's a black hole and then the game doesn't work. That's how petty they were. And no, it wasn't it was a build-up excitement, but it was also pettiness. Like, oh, you can't play our game now. 2 days. And then everyone comes back. I'm sorry, Epic. I'm sorry. I'll play it. I'll stop complaining about the Infinity Blade and mechs and planes.
A full new map, new guns, vaulted guns, swimming, fishing. Could this be the return of Fortnite to its former glory? Well, as seen on the trend graph, not really. 2 weeks after the release of the season, the popularity was back down to where it was in Season 10, with many people saying that Chapter 2 update was a bit of a letdown, mainly focusing the complaints around the fact that the season was 4 months long with very few updates and new pieces of content.
Chapter 2 alone will almost be 2 seasons long, and all we have to show for it are a couple of new weapons. That's why I gotta ask, what have the developers been doing for this long?
Guys, it's a battle royale where you're just on one map shooting each other with weapons. What do you want? Like, it's not like a whole game where they can add single player DLC, I guess they could add new game modes. It's just, but the main thing is battle royale, shooting each other on a map. What, like, the complaining about not adding enough stuff is basically them complaining, I'm bored with this game, which is normal, and they're blaming the devs. No, you're just bored of battle royale. Play a real game like Dark Souls or some indie game that's actually good.
By the end of Chapter 2, Season 1,
Star Wars,
the game had hit yet another low, a low that hadn't been lower than any other season. However, after the release of Chapter 2 Season 2, something bizarre happened. The popularity of Fortnite began to rise again. Instead of following the trend of the previous year, being a spike then a drop in popularity, it was a spike, then a drop, then a gradual rise to a new high that hadn't been seen in about a year. What could Epic possibly be doing that they weren't doing previously? Well, it's hard to say, but I have a sneaking suspicion that it might be related to the quantity of people at home currently rather than school or work. And since there's minimal data to discover the accuracy of this statement, it's hard to draw an accurate conclusion. However, since hitting another peak upon the release of Chapter 2 Season 3, the game seems to be on another downward trend, a trend that may certainly continue into the future. So it creates the closing argument for the video. What caused the gradual decline of Fortnite over time? Well, from everything presented and by analysing the opinion of the public, it seems to be a mix of questionable updates and just a loss of interest over time. Sure, it's easy to blame the bad updates, but at the end of the day, there's only so long that someone can play a game before it begins to become recurring and monotonous. It's coming up on 3 years since the game was released, and to think that the people interested back in 2017 are the same people interested now is possibly a naive judgment. Not that you really care about my opinion, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. And it might be controversial, but I think one of the main perpetrators was Playground in creative mode. I think that it would have made the game significantly more enjoyable to just trust the natural progression of people learning each aspect within the game while versing others in real time. The reason those first 6 to 12 months were so fun was because everyone kind of sucked, and it felt as though everyone was bad and getting better on an equal level. Suddenly when Playground was introduced in Season 5...
No, everyone was always, like, every game I played, from the very beginning, right when a person saw you, they were automatically in a fucking castle. They were in a freaking castle, instantly. Everyone was always, you have a map of 100 players, there's always going to be good players in there. It's not everyone's good now, there were always good players. So people got annoyed. I'm telling you right now why the game faded. Because people get bored. Nothing lasts forever in popularity. You need to cash in when it's hot. And that's it. And people were annoyed with the building. Every person I've seen talk about Fortnite, they were like, yeah, any gunfight I get in there, this person suddenly is in a fortress. And I can't do anything. People got bored with that. So they introduced Zero Build. And Zero Build is freaking amazing.
There just wasn't as much reason to play public matches because you could learn everything by playing privately. And then when you did go to public games, everyone suddenly knew what they were doing. The natural progression felt off and made the game instantly less enjoyable. Regardless, the game has provided people with so much entertainment and good times up until this point. So despite having a decline in popularity, it still appears to be an excellent game to jump into. And it's free to play, so as we said at the start, why not give it a shot?
Well, I mean, guys, like, honestly, yeah. Fortnite is not Halo 3. Nothing will be Halo 3. Halo 3 is true fun. Fortnite is just a battle royale. It died because it just got old, people got tired of the building, and other battle royales came out. Apex Legends, Modern Warfare. Apex Legends, it's like early 2019. Modern Warfare, late 2019. Blackout for Call of Duty Black Ops, late 2018 when Fortnite was on the decline. Things get old. Most things don't last forever. So looking at the analytics of the population going like that is just, you need to just cash in when you can. And yeah, so people still play Fortnite. Epic will still make tons of money from Fortnite. It'll last a long time. There are always new players. It'll be fine. But anyway, thanks for watching. Yeah, see you later.